All right, let's jump into this deep dive. We're tackling selling on Facebook today, unpacking a chapter from 1,000 ways to hustle to really see how to turn Facebook into, a moneymaker. So if you're ready to take those likes and turn them into some profits, I think you're in the right place.
Yeah, definitely. This chapter goes from super basic marketplace listings all the way to, setting up an actual Facebook shop. And there's some really cool hidden tips in there.
Oh, really?
Did you know you can bundle items on Marketplace?
Yeah.
To get a better sale?
I did not.
Yeah, or there's features built in that help you deal with lowball offers,
Right.
you're going to cover,
Okay.
all that good stuff.
Okay, that already has me interested. But before we get too deep, can you just give us a quick overview of all the different ways you can sell on Facebook?
Oh, for sure. Facebook's got a surprisingly diverse ecosystem for sellers. Kind of like a multi-level marketplace. Something for everyone,
Yep.
So we got Marketplace, which I'm sure most folks are familiar with, but then you got Facebook shops, Facebook groups, and of course you can't forget the classic Facebook ads. Each one has its own strengths and situations where it works best.
Gotcha. Okay. So if I'm picturing this right, Marketplace is that classic digital garage sale thing, good for individuals or local businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
What about shops? Those sound fancier.
Yeah, shops are more like having your own online store, right?
Yeah.
But it's all integrated with your Facebook page, even your Instagram if you want. It's way more professional looking if that's what you need.
Right. That makes sense. And then there's groups, right? I hear those can be really effective, but I haven't actually used them for selling. What makes groups so special?
Groups are like communities, right? All built around some shared interests. So you can find groups for almost anything, including buying and selling certain products. The really cool thing with groups is that the people are already there, already interested in what you might have.
So you're tapping into a ready-made audience. Smart.
Exactly.
Okay, and of course we can't forget about the heavy hitter, Facebook ads.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But we'll get to those later, I think. For now, let's stick with what most people think of first when it comes to selling on Facebook, and that's Marketplace. What are the secrets to making Marketplace work for you?
Well, it's like any marketplace, right?
Yeah.
It all starts with presentation.
Yeah.
Your listing, that's the first impression.
Yeah.
And good photos, those are absolutely essential.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If the photos are bad, I just keep scrolling. It's got to look good.
For sure. You got to grab people's attention. Multiple photos, different angles, showing the item in the best possible light.
Like a mini photo shoot for your old stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to have a good description too, right? To go with those awesome photos.
Absolutely. Be detailed, honest,
Mm-hmm.
give people all the info they need so they feel comfortable buying. Being honest is key for building trust with your buyers,
Totally. Don't overpromise, right?
Yeah.
Set realistic expectations.
Yep.
Okay. And then there's pricing. That's a tricky one, right?
Oh, for sure.
You got to be competitive, but you also want to make some money.
It's all about finding that sweet spot. Do your research, look at similar items on Marketplace, see what they're going for. Don't undervalue your stuff, but you got to be realistic about what people are willing to pay.
Right. So you got the listing up, it looks good, price is right. What about actually dealing with, potential buyers? Any tips on that part of the process?
Be communicative. Answer messages quickly, professionally. Remember, you're building a reputation, right? So be thorough, honest, all that good stuff.
So good old-fashioned customer service, even though it's online.
Totally. And, be ready for negotiation, too. That's just part of it on Marketplace.
Oh, the art of the deal. Any advice on that? How to handle all the back and forth?
Be polite, but firm. Know what you're willing to accept, your bottom line, and just stick to it. If someone's offer is way too low, don't be afraid to counter with, a more reasonable number.
Yeah, find that middle ground. Make everybody happy. Okay, now what about safety? Especially if you're meeting up in person to actually exchange the item.
Oh, that's huge. Safety's got to be your top priority, always. Meet in a public place, well lit, during the daytime. If you can, bring a friend along, just in case, and let someone know where you're going, when you expect to be back.
Yeah.
All that basic stuff,
Smart. Safety in numbers is never a bad idea. Okay, I've seen some marketplace listings that offer shipping as an option. Is that something worth considering, even if you're, mostly aiming at local buyers?
Shipping can definitely help you reach more people, people outside your area, but it does add some complications. You got to factor shipping into your price or be super upfront that the buyer pays for it separately. And always, always, always use a shipping service with tracking. It protects both you and the buyer.
Tracking is key. Okay, so we've got creating listings, communicating with buyers, safety, anything else about Marketplace we got to know?
Oh, there's one more thing. It's called boosting. Basically, you pay a little fee, and it makes your listing show up higher in the search results.
So like a little extra oomph to get
Yeah.
more eyes on it?
Exactly.
Makes sense. Okay, but what about when you're ready to step it up, move beyond the casual marketplace, and like build an actual storefront? Tell us about those Facebook shops.
Okay, so shops are great when you want to showcase your stuff in a more like polished way.
Yeah.
With your own branding and everything. Think of it as your own online store, but it all lives within Facebook.
Okay, that sounds good. Are there like requirements for setting up a shop?
Yeah, so you need a Facebook business page. That's basically like your brand's home on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you'll manage your shop and everything. You also got to make sure all your products and, how you do business.
Yeah.
It all follows Facebook's commerce policies.
Mm.
Those are just rules to make sure things are like safe and trustworthy for everyone.
So play by the rules. Makes sense.
Yeah, and it's not required, but having your own website can be helpful too. It just gives you more control and flexibility.
Okay, so Facebook business page is a must. Got to follow the rules and maybe have a website. What about actually setting up the shop itself? Is that like super complicated?
It's way easier than you'd think. You just go to the shop tab on your Facebook page. Unless you don't see it, then you got to add it in your settings, but it's pretty straightforward. And Facebook has this setup wizard thing. It walks you through the whole process. Super helpful.
A setup wizard? Okay, that does sound good. What kind of things does it help you with?
Well, it'll help you connect your product catalog, set up payments, shipping preferences, all that stuff. It really makes the whole process like way less intimidating.
Okay, less intimidating is good. Now you said product catalog, and honestly, I'm picturing like a giant spreadsheet. Is that what it is?
It can be, or it can be super simple. Depends what you need. If you don't have a ton of stuff, you can just enter each product manually,
Yeah.
Name, description, price, images, all that. Facebook makes it pretty easy.
Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. But what if you do have a ton of stuff? Like hundreds or even thousands of products. Inputting all that manually would take forever.
Yeah, if you've got a large inventory, that's where you want to look at integrations. Like
Okay.
if you're using Shopify or WooCommerce, you can connect those directly to your Facebook shop, so it all syncs automatically, saves you a ton of time, and your inventory stays up to date everywhere.
The magic of automation. Okay, that makes sense. So Facebook has options for the little guys and the big players. Very nice. So let's say my shop is set up, products are in, all looking nice. What about making it look good? Matching my brand and all that.
Oh, you can totally customize it. You have a lot of control over how your shop looks. You can create like collections, group similar products together, like new arrivals or bestsellers, whatever makes sense for your stuff. You can even feature specific products on the homepage if you want. And of course, you can use your logo, your colors, keep your branding consistent throughout, just like on your website.
So you can really create a cohesive look. Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Okay, so we've got marketplace shops. Now, before we move on, I want to circle back to those Facebook groups. How do you effectively use those for selling?
It's all about community,
Yeah.
right? Like imagine you're selling, I don't know, handmade jewelry. You wouldn't just walk into a random room and start yelling about your necklaces, would you?
No, that'd be weird.
Exactly. You'd find a group of people who actually like handmade jewelry, maybe a craft fair group or something like that.
So it's all about finding the right audience, people who are already interested.
Right. The key is to join groups that are relevant to what you sell and then like actually engage with people. Don't just spam them with sales stuff, participate in conversations, answer questions, be a genuine part of the group.
It's about building trust.
Exactly. And when you do post about your products, you got to respect the rules of the group, right? Some
Okay.
groups have specific days or threads for selling, and always be respectful of like how the group works, the dynamics of it.
Right, don't be a jerk. Okay, so good guest, respect the house rules, build relationships. What about linking to your shop or marketplace listings?
Oh, for sure. You can do that. Make it easy for people to find your stuff, right? Use clear pictures, good descriptions, make sure the price is clear. And then, a link straight to your shop or your marketplace listing makes buying super easy.
Streamline the process. I like it. Okay, so we've got marketplace, shops, groups.
Yeah.
These are all ways to like reach people organically, right? But what about when you want to really ramp things up, reach a much wider audience? That's where Facebook ads come in, right?
Yep, you got it. Facebook ads, those are a game changer if you want to scale up and target like really specific people. But that's a whole topic for next time.
Okay, I'm already intrigued. Stay tuned as we dive into the world of Facebook ads. All right, we're back, and I'm ready to unlock the power of Facebook ads. It's a tool I've, always kind of wanted to try, but it seemed a little intimidating.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Facebook ads can seem kind of complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's really just about reaching the right people with the right message. And Facebook gives you a ton of control over that.
Okay, that does make me feel better. So, where do we even begin? What are the first steps?
Well, first, you got to set up a Facebook ads account. You do that through Facebook Business Manager, which is like the central hub for all your Facebook marketing stuff.
So, Business Manager is like mission control for ads.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Once you've got that set up, you got to choose a campaign objective. That's where you tell Facebook what you want to achieve with your ads.
Okay, so what are some examples of those objectives?
Well, it depends what you're trying to do, right? Do you want people to visit your website or your Facebook shop? Do you want to just increase awareness of your brand? Maybe you want people to sign up for something, like a lead generation campaign. Or maybe you're just focused on getting sales. Facebook has different objectives for all those different goals.
So Facebook has all the bases covered. We choose our objective, and then what?
Then comes the fun part, picking your audience. This is where Facebook's data really comes in handy.
Right, yeah, the targeting. This is where we get to be super specific about who sees our ads, right?
You got it. You can target based on demographics like age, gender, location, but also things like interests, behaviors, even what kind of device they use. You really can get your message in front of the people most likely to be interested.
That's wild. But how does Facebook know all this about people?
Well, they collect data from people's profiles, obviously, but also their activity on Facebook and even their browsing history from other websites. So they can build these really detailed profiles and then let advertisers use that for targeting.
That makes sense. Okay, so we've got our objective, our target audience. What's the next step in this Facebook ads journey?
Now it's time to get creative. You got to actually build your ad. Think about what will make people stop scrolling, catch their attention.
So the visuals are super important, gotta be eye-catching.
Oh, for sure. Use high-quality images or videos, something relevant to your message, and make sure it looks good. But the visual is just the start. Your ad copy, that's got to be compelling too. You got to highlight the benefits of what you're selling.
Benefits, not just features. What else about the copy?
Keep it short and sweet. People are scrolling fast, right? You have seconds to grab their attention and get your message across. And always include a clear call to action. Tell people what you want them to do, visit your website, buy now, whatever it is.
Guide them to the next step. Okay, this is making sense now. What about budget? I've heard you can spend a fortune on Facebook ads if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, you can definitely go overboard. But Facebook gives you a lot of control. You set a daily budget or a lifetime budget for the campaign, and they won't spend more than that.
That's good. I like that. But once those ads are running, do we just sit back and wait?
Nope. Monitoring and optimizing your campaigns, that's huge. Facebook gives you detailed reports on how your ads are doing so you can see what's working and what's not.
Data's our friend again.
Always. You want to track things like click-through rates, how much it costs you per click, how many conversions you're getting, what your return on investment is, all that good stuff. And then you can adjust your ads, change your targeting, maybe tweak your bidding strategy. Just keep improving things over time.
So it's a constant process of improvement based on data.
Exactly. Now, are you ready to dive into some more advanced strategies?
Sure, let's get fancy.
Okay. Have you heard of dynamic product ads?
Vaguely, but refresh my memory.
So these are really cool for re-engaging people who've already shown some interest in your products. Say someone's browsing your website, your Facebook shop. Maybe they add something to their cart, but then they don't actually buy it.
They get distracted or decide to think about it later. Happens all the time.
Yeah, totally. So with dynamic product ads, you can show those people ads featuring the exact products they were looking at, reminding them, hey, you were interested in this. It's a nice little nudge to get them back to finish the purchase.
Like a personalized follow-up. I like that a lot. Any other advanced tactics we should know about?
Okay, remember those lookalike audiences we talked about? You can build those based on different seed audiences.
Seed audiences? What's that?
That's just the starting point for your lookalike audience. So for example, you could create a lookalike audience based on people who have already bought something from you. And Facebook will then go find other people who are similar to them.
So you're basically finding more people who are likely to become customers based on your current customers.
Exactly. And you could even experiment with different lookalike audience sizes.
Right.
Like a smaller one, say 1%, will be more accurate, more like your seed audience. But if you go bigger, you reach more people, but they might be less relevant.
So it's a trade-off.
Okay.
Okay. Lots to test there.
Always test. Now let's talk about the different types of ads you can actually create. We've talked about images and ad copy, but don't forget about video ads. Those are huge.
Yeah, video is everywhere these days. I definitely watch more videos than I read, long blocks of text online.
Exactly. And video ads are way more engaging than just a static image. You can tell a story, show your product in action, connect with people on a deeper level.
So instead of just showing a picture of, say, my product, I could have a video showing how to use it, the benefits, maybe even testimonials from happy customers.
Exactly. Video gives you so much more creative freedom.
I'm already getting ideas. What other ad formats should we try?
Carousel ads are cool. Those let you show multiple products or even different features of one product. It's like a little slideshow within your ad.
Okay, so you can pack more info into a single ad. What about collection ads? I've heard of those.
Those are awesome for creating a really immersive experience. They combine a video or an image with like a selection of related products.
Yeah.
So when someone clicks, they go to this full screen experience where they can browse and learn more.
That's cool, like bringing the shopping experience right into Facebook. Are there any other ad formats we should know about?
There's lead generation ads. Those are specifically for collecting information from people, like their email address or phone number.
So that's perfect for building your email list or getting leads for your sales team.
Yep, exactly. And Facebook makes it super easy to build forms right into the ad. People can fill it out without even leaving Facebook.
Very convenient. Okay, so we've got all these different ad formats. We're tracking our data. We're using advanced targeting. Anything else we can do to get the most bang for our buck with Facebook ads?
A/B testing is a must. We talked about testing different ad creatives, but you can also test targeting options, different bidding strategies, even where your ads show up. See what performs best.
A/B testing, got it. Let the data decide.
Exactly. And if you're running multiple campaigns or even multiple ad sets within a campaign, you might want to look into Facebook's campaign budget optimization. It's called CBO for short.
CBO, okay, what's that?
Basically, it lets Facebook automatically distribute your budget across your different ad sets, so it's spending your money where it's most effective.
So it's like having a little robot ad budget manager working behind the scenes.
Pretty much. Now, before we move on, there's one more tool I got to mention. It's the Facebook Pixel.
Ah, the Pixel. That little piece of code you install on your website. I know it's important, but I'm not totally clear on what it does or why.
It's basically a tracking tool. It lets you see what people do on your website after they click on your Facebook ad. You can track things like page views, people adding things to their cart, purchases, stuff like that.
So you can see what happens after they leave Facebook and land on your website.
Exactly. You can even track custom events, things that are specific to your business, like maybe someone signs up for your newsletter or downloads a free guide. And the more data the Pixel collects, the better Facebook can optimize your ads and create those super targeted lookalike audiences we were talking about.
Okay, so the Pixel is key for data-driven decisions. Got it. I gotta be honest, this is a lot to take in. Facebook ads are way more complicated than I realized.
It is a lot, for sure. But remember, it's a journey. You don't have to master it all at once. Start with the basics, experiment, keep learning.
That makes me feel better. So we don't have to become Facebook ads gurus overnight.
Nope, you can take it step by step. And there are tons of resources out there to help you. Facebook's own Help Center is really good. And there are blogs, podcasts, even courses all about Facebook ads.
Okay, good to know. So we've covered marketplace, shops, groups, and ads. That was quite a whirlwind tour of Facebook selling.
It was a lot, yeah. But there's one more piece of the puzzle we got to talk about. Building a community and getting people engaged.
Engagement, right. That's like the holy grail of social media. But does it actually lead to sales?
It's more than just likes and comments. It's about building real relationships with people, creating a community around your brand. When people feel connected, they're way more likely to become loyal customers.
So it's about human connection, not just algorithms.
Exactly. So how do we create that engagement? Build a community on Facebook? It starts with creating content that people actually want to engage with.
Okay, engaging content. What does that look like? Give me some examples.
Go beyond just like product photos and sales pitches. Give people a peek behind the scenes, Show them how you make your products, introduce your team, share your brand's story.
So pull back the curtain a little, let people see the humans behind the brand.
Yeah. Product tutorials and demos are always good too. Show people how to use your products in cool and helpful ways. If you sell makeup, maybe do a makeup tutorial. If you sell kitchen gadgets, show them how to make a recipe with it.
Provide value, show your expertise. What other types of content work well?
Customer spotlights are great. Highlight how real people are using and enjoying your products. It's super effective.
Social proof. Yeah, people trust that more than just marketing.
Totally. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Start discussions. Ask for feedback. What challenges are people facing? How are they using your products? Make it a conversation, not just you talking at them.
Right, make people feel heard.
Exactly. Polls and quizzes are fun too. People love those. Easy way to get some interaction going.
Oh yeah, polls are always a hit. And what about contests and giveaways? Those are always popular.
Those are great for generating buzz, getting people excited about your brand. And you can even use them to collect email addresses, grow your list.
Smart. Okay, so we're creating all this great content, but then what? We can't just hope people will find it and engage with it, right?
Nope. Got to be proactive, respond to comments, answer questions.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a quick thank you.
So be present, be responsive.
Exactly. Show people you're listening, you care about what they have to say. And if you really want to step up your community building game, start a Facebook group specifically for your brand or your niche.
Like a little club for your biggest fans?
Yeah, pretty much. A Facebook group creates a stronger sense of belonging. People can have deeper conversations, share their experiences. It's a great way to build loyalty.
Love that idea. Okay, any other strategies for building those connections and getting more reach?
Collaborations are huge. Partner up with other businesses or influencers, people in your niche, cross-promote each other's stuff. It's a win-win.
So find those strategic partnerships.
Exactly. Now, let's be real, selling on Facebook, it's not always easy. There are definitely challenges you got to be ready for.
Oh, I'm sure. What are some of the most common challenges?
Low reach and engagement are probably the biggest ones. You spend all this time creating great content, but it feels like nobody sees it.
The algorithm, it's a beast. What can you do about that?
Well, first of all, make sure your content is actually good. It has to resonate with your audience. Think about what they're interested in, what problems they're facing, what kind of content they find valuable.
So know your audience and tailor your content to them.
Exactly. And be consistent. Post regularly. Stay top of mind. If you only post every now and then, your stuff is less likely to be seen.
Consistency is key. Got it. Anything else to help break through the noise?
If you're really struggling, you can always use Facebook ads to boost your reach. And those contests and giveaways we talked about, those are great for encouraging engagement and getting people to share your stuff.
Okay, so sometimes you got to pay to play.
Sometimes, yeah. Now, another challenge you're going to run into is negative feedback. No matter how awesome your product is, not everyone's going to be happy all the time.
Yeah, negative comments and reviews, those are the worst. Any tips for handling them?
Be professional, empathetic, acknowledge the feedback, apologize if you need to, and try to fix the problem publicly if you can.
So don't get defensive.
Nope. Be understanding, even if you think the feedback is unfair. And sometimes it's best to take the conversation offline, Offer to contact the customer directly and work things out privately.
Damage control and then take it private if needed. Okay, what about preventing negative feedback in the first place?
Well, if there are common questions or concerns about your products, address those up front in your descriptions, manage expectations, and be super transparent about your policies, shipping times, all that stuff. That can help prevent misunderstandings.
Transparency is key. Set those expectations early. Okay, what other challenges are there?
Well, Facebook is constantly changing, right? The algorithm changes all the time. What worked last month might not work today.
It's like trying to hit a moving target. How do we keep up?
Stay informed. Read industry blogs, listen to podcasts, go to webinars. Keep an eye on what Facebook is announcing.
Yeah.
The more you understand the algorithm, the better you can adapt.
Got it. Knowledge is power.
Exactly. Speaking of frustrating things, let's talk about ad disapprovals. You create this amazing ad, and then Facebook rejects it. Super annoying.
Oh, tell me about it. It's happened to me before. It's so deflating.
Yeah.
Why do ads get disapproved, and how can we avoid it?
Facebook has a lot of rules about advertising, to make sure ads are safe, relevant, not offensive, all that.
So no misleading claims, no inappropriate content.
Right. Make sure your ads follow those rules before you even submit them. Read the guidelines carefully. And if your ad does get disapproved, don't freak out. Just review the policies, make the necessary changes, and resubmit it.
Okay, so play by the rules and double-check everything. Makes sense. Now, what about competition? There are so many businesses on Facebook. How do you stand out?
Well, it all comes back to what we've been talking about. Know your audience, create great content, build a strong community, use Facebook ads strategically.
Right, bring it all together.
Yep. And be willing to experiment, try new things. Don't be afraid to test different approaches and see what works best for you.
This has been super helpful. We've learned so much, from basic marketplace listings to advanced Facebook ad strategies. But before we wrap up, let's talk about measuring success.
Ah, yes, data is our friend, remember. We don't just want to hope things are working. We want to know for sure.
Exactly. But beyond just looking at likes and comments, how do we really know if our efforts are paying off? How do you measure the return on investment for all this Facebook stuff?
Got to look at the numbers that really matter. Set up regular reports, maybe weekly or monthly, to track your key performance indicators.
So things like website traffic, sales, conversions, the stuff that shows you're actually making money.
Exactly. You also want to understand how different touch points are contributing to your sales.
Touch points, what does that mean?
Think about all the ways someone might interact with your brand on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
They see your ad, then they visit your Facebook page, maybe they join your group, and finally they buy something on your website.
So you're mapping out the customer journey and seeing how each interaction leads to the sale.
Right. It's called attribution modeling. It helps you see which touch points are most effective so you can spend your time and money on the things that are actually working.
That's awesome. It takes the guesswork out of it.
Yep. And don't forget about customer lifetime value.
Okay, what's that all about?
It means thinking beyond just the immediate sale. Think about how much a customer will spend with you over time, not just on one purchase.
So build relationships that last.
Exactly. If you can create loyal customers who come back again and again, that's how you build a really successful, sustainable business.
That's a great point. It's not just about quick wins, it's about the long game.
You got it. And that's what selling on Facebook is all about: connecting with people, building trust, creating a community around your brand.
This has been amazing, seriously. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of how powerful Facebook can be for businesses. I'm ready to start putting this stuff into action.
Awesome. And remember, this is just the beginning. There's always more to learn, more to explore. Facebook is always changing, so keep experimenting and see what works for you.
This deep dive has been packed with insights. I know our listeners are going to get a lot out of this. But before we go, I'd love to hear your final thoughts.
Yeah.
What's the one key takeaway you want everyone to remember as they start their own Facebook selling journey?
I think the biggest takeaway is that, selling on Facebook, it's not a one-time thing. You got to constantly be adjusting, be ready for things to change.
Yeah, that's so true. Facebook's always evolving, right? New features pop up, they tweak the algorithm, people's behavior changes. What worked a few months ago might not work now. You got to stay on top of things. It's like we're all students in the school of Facebook, and the curriculum is always changing. So how do we make sure we're keeping up, not falling behind?
Just be a constant learner, follow blogs, listen to podcasts, go to webinars, all that. The more you learn about Facebook marketing, the better. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different things. See what works for you and your audience.
Stay curious. Test, test, test. But in the end, isn't it all about the customer?
Or absolutely. Putting the customer first, that's how you win on Facebook for sure. Listen to what they're saying, respond to their feedback, build those relationships. When you treat your customers right, everything else kind of falls into place.
It's about building a community, not just a bunch of sales.
Exactly. Make people feel valued, go the extra mile for them. Word of mouth is still the best advertising. Good, happy customers tell their friends, and that's way more powerful than any ad.
Couldn't agree more. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of Facebook commerce. We covered everything from simple marketplace listings to full-blown Facebook ads strategies. I feel like I've learned so much.
Glad to hear it. It's been great chatting with you and sharing these insights with your listeners. Remember, selling on Facebook, it's a journey. Embrace the challenges, celebrate your wins, and never stop learning.
Awesome advice. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. And to our listeners, be sure to check out 1000 Ways to Hustle for even more tips and tricks. Until next time, happy hustling.